Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Shredder, and this is Shred's Takes. I am joined by my old college teammates, who I actually haven't on the podcast in a minute. It's been a while since I've had these two guys on. They were early stages, like first season, I think, on the podcast is when I had these two guys on. So, Eric Sellew and Josh Chery, they were both my senior captains when I was a sophomore. Guys, thank you so much for joining the podcast today, and look forward to talking some hoops with you guys today.
You're
Course. Thanks for
Shred
having us.
Daddy. Shred Daddy.
So let's get started. And the things so for the viewers to know, the topics they requested we talked about today is the best duos in the NBA and the best players under 25 and under in the NBA. So let's start with best duos. I'm gonna let them kind of go into who they think that is. I have a feeling I already know who Eric's are going to be. That's pretty obvious for those who know he's a Celtics fan. So I think that's going to be wrapped in there somehow. But I'll let you guys kind of go and talk about who you think the best duos are, and then I'll just chime in and add some of mine as well.
Go ahead, do your thing. All
I
right.
mean, I got the Celtics game on right now. I'm watching, Jalen's out for tonight, but I think my answer has to be best duo in the
Is he
league.
resting?
Tatum, yeah, he's I think he's hurt. Yeah. But like nothing major. But I think JT, JB, best duo in the league. They've been, haven't really gotten over the hump and made it all the way and actually won the championship yet, but I think they're both in their primes now. I think it's the first year where they're actually playing off each other better than any previous year before. I think they're doing more of the little things this year. They're not taking all of the grunt, all of the load. I mean, obviously, when it comes down to crunch time, Jason Tatum knows his role. He's getting the rock, and but what I love about the duo this year is that they know their time to go. Like Jalen in the first quarter will explode for 15, 20 points, and then
Boy's a dog.
Jason will get his time in the
Boy's a
fourth quarter,
dog.
third quarter. So I think this year they're sort of made up their mind. They're less focused on just packing the stats and having career scoring seasons, career stats across the board because they know we have the pieces this year, and that we need to play as a team, play together, to get to the promised land, which is
Yo, low key,
never.
do you think JB's taking more backseat? Well, I don't know. Well, obviously with KP and Drew Holiday in the mix, yeah, I mean he's forced to take a backseat, but like last year was his contract year and him getting all NBA definitely I don't know, because he was he averaged like 27, 28 last year.
Yeah.
Now he's down like to like 23, 22, 23 this year because obviously it's like, more weapons. But
Yeah.
do you think that was more of I don't know, do you think that kind of was an incentive for him to go crazy like he did last year?
I mean, I think like with the addition of KP, like KP's averaging, I don't know what his stats are, but he's like putting up like 20 a game. Strats, correct me if I'm wrong with the Excel chart.
He's averaging 19, like a little over 19 in the year.
19.
Yeah.
What's JB at?
It's like
JB's at
26.
like 23.8 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'm worried about JB is like his
I'm you can go
his
left,
three.
relax. You can go left, bro.
No, I know. I'm just worried about his 3-point shot. I know I'm talking about hyping up the duo, but um, some games I think his 3-point shot isn't as good as it was. But I'm not worried. Doesn't mean I'm worried. I think
All right.
he's still
Well,
hooping. He's still hooping.
he's still hooping. All right. Well, my bias best duo in the league is definitely PG and Kawhi. Super biased because PG is my guy. He's my favorite player. My unbiased pick would be like Loki, like like Chet and Shea, because like them boys in OKC, like they're young, they're running. Chet is defending the rim, spread um spreading you out on offense as well. Shea's getting to the rim, hitting from mid range, like so smooth, finishing over crowds, and like his stop and go action is like it's pretty to watch. Um,
Do you think Shea is because I know like a lot of people think he's underrated. Do you think he's like properly rated now, or do you still think he's kind of flying under the radar?
I mean, he's not flying under the radar anymore, but like he's still. I mean, it's because OKC is like a small market team, and like he's not like KD where like you just demands that national attention. He's not there quite yet. He might get there, but like I think he's still underrated just because of his like the marketing, small market team. Like if he played for like I don't know, like Knicks or Lakers, he'd be like the best thing since sliced bread. like they'd gas up, you'd gas him up crazy. But he definitely needs to make a playoff run this year. Whether like number one, number two in the West right now, something like
Two.
that. Number two in the West. Yeah,
Yep.
like no, like that. Them boys are. I don't. Is it Chet and Shea or is it like Jalen Williams and Shea? I don't know. It's like
I mean,
interchangeable.
it's tough, right? I mean, like what
Yeah.
for you guys, like when you're looking at duos, do you look at like the top two scorers for each team, or are you looking at like complementary fit, if that makes any sense? Because if you think about like a lot of teams look at like, oh, like a big and a guard because they're running a lot of pick and roll together and they're doing those type of things. But JB and Jalen would be like the duo people would go to for the Celtics, even though they are never running really pick and roll with each other that much. It's mostly they're going to be running as the ball handler, right? So like when you guys are like making duos, do you guys look at the two top scorers, the guys whose like styles are complementary? Like what do you guys look at?
I feel like
I don't know.
I look at just like who do I want on the floor the most, like when the game is on the line, or not even when the game is just who do I want on the floor the most. And I think Jason Tatum and JB have like stepped up defensively this year. Like I think that was their goal coming into the season was like let's make like first team all defense, second team all defense. And I think like both of them have proven that like they lock up, and like obviously we have Drew and Derek White too, but I think they set the tone. Like they're the leaders of the team, and I think it starts on defense for the season. They're kind of leading that.
I mean, for me, it's more so like not necessarily like points per game where like whatever, but it's like just like your two lead dogs, your two top dogs on the team. Like that's why I'm like I don't know if it's necessarily. I guess it's Chet. It's a second. It's a second head honcho on the OKC. But yeah, like just like your two front dogs. So um, I was thinking. I was also thinking Dame and Giannis. They did smack y'all. I mean, it was a back to back. Well, they smacked up by like 40 the other
Yeah,
night.
I mean,
Yeah, that was really tough to watch.
Yo, it
But
was a nationally televised game. Got smacked. Oh my god,
I mean,
horrible scheduling.
we didn't even start our starters in the second half.
Horrible scheduling, bro. I don't know why. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah,
Schedule makers, because that's like that should be like they should at least get like day rest for that prime time game. But it is what it is.
yeah,
Um,
it's interesting. I was looking at a couple other duos that I think for me, I look at Jokic and Murray as the best because they just won the
mm,
championship last year, and when they run that like their handoff sets and pick and rolls, it's unguardable because they're both. I mean, Jokic is obviously an elite passer, but Murray's also an elite shot maker and he's a good passer as well. That's one I was thinking about. Another one also I was thinking about sneaky wise, a couple are Embiid and Maxi. They actually like because they've been really good.
shout out, yo nasty. Shout out, yo nasty.
And then also actually Sabonis and Fox I was actually thinking about too because Sabonis just had last night against the Bucks. He had like 15 assists and like they're both like they play well with each other. I generally like bigs and guards just because of like the complementary, like being able to always be get a good offensive possession on the way down the court.
Yo, the
But
Kings
that's
they
because
low
I'm a
key
big
run.
guy, so I guess that's biased.
The Kings low key run like some like sets similar to us, where like you throw it into the big guy and like I don't know, like the big guy is like reading off like back cuts and dribble handoffs and stuff like that.
You're saying the
Um,
Nuggets?
no, yeah, I guess Nuggets and the Kings.
Yeah, I mean the Kings run a lot of like the zoom delay action that we ran,
Yeah,
which we called like I guess we call it four back in college. But yeah, it's like
yeah.
a lot of teams run that now just because it generates so many looks. It's funny actually. I was watching a high school team run that action in a recent game again, and like no one in high school has any idea how to guard it because it's just like do we switch it? Do we go high low? Like do we
Yo,
chase?
how long has like Williams and Amherst been like how long have we been doing this? Because like
That's a good question.
Low key, you could say Hickson was the originator. Low key, if it goes back far enough
Yeah, I was kind of
in
thinking
that
about that
direction.
too. I mean, think about like it's like it's like transform. I mean, also again, like you can think about that, but also in the NBA where it really got introduced was with the Warriors because the Warriors started running that through Draymond, right? And then being able like again it works when you have a big that's able to handle the ball and dribble handoffs and be able to make really good passes. To another question, let's look at the top rankings for the under 25. I'll give mine and you guys can go afterwards if that works for you. So
Yeah.
mine is Luca, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, John Morant, and Zion Williamson. That's my five in that order. I can give a small like kind of quick I guess my reasoning
No
behind that
Tatum, that's crazy. All right, go ahead,
is Tatum. I think it's Tatum. I think Tatum's above 25, isn't he?
Oh,
bro. Tatum's
Tatum's
like
19.
I thought Tatum was like 26.
God,
He's
Tatum.
20. He's 26. Yeah,
He's 25, 26
he's
in March.
25.
I just looked
Oh,
it up. I just looked it up.
Well,
Yeah,
then it obviously in that case, I was
I guess it
thinking
counts.
like under
wait, are we doing
25.
25 and under or under 25?
I was thinking
I'm
under
sorry.
25.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, if it was like yeah, I mean obviously Tatum would be right there with Luke.
I thought he was 19.
Yeah, I mean if yeah, because like I was looking at the fact that like under like Tatum and Luca obviously are like right there. I mean I would probably it'd be tough for me in that situation of debating those two, but it was pretty easy outside. Like if you're taking Tatum obviously out of that equation, I think it's pretty simple that Luke is definitely the top guy, and then you go Anthony Edwards based on the way that the Timberwolves are #1 seed. He's been improved a lot, and then Halliburton's year has been incredible. I mean he's leading the league in assists. They have the best offense in the league. And then John Morant, when healthy, is obviously a spectacular player. It's just he hasn't been really been healthy, and the Grizzlies have been not good. And then Zion is kind of the wild card. I mean, I think he's the fifth in that list. He should be better than that, but he is really good when he just kind of puts his mind to dominating the paint, and he does a lot of things really well. So those are my five, but I'm gonna give the opportunity for you guys to kind of give maybe yours and kind of think about who you're looking at.
All right, I
Josh.
got
Yeah.
Luka #1. I'm gonna give the slight edge to Ja just based off like playoffs because actually no, Ant went crazy last year in the playoffs. Yeah, all right. Ant's #2, Ja's #3. Um, I'm gonna give instead of Tyrese, I'm gonna say LaMelo,
Wow. Well, Melo.
and
Okay.
then
That is.
That's how
I like Lamelo. I like
he's a
Lamelo.
great player, but like, okay, go ahead, continue.
I like him more than Tyrese, honestly.
Okay,
You just
And
can't
then
play a whole season though.
and who's five?
five for me is either
There's no either. It has
I'm,
to be one person.
I'm I like Paulo more than Zion right now. I like Paulo
I actually
Banchero more
don't
than
think that's
Zion.
that. Paul is not a bad move. Yeah, I mean, actually, he's playing out of his mind this year. So, Lou, what's your list?
I agree with you guys on #1, Luca. I think that's obvious. #2, I'm going Ant Edwards. Just because of like how the season's gone for him versus like how it's gone for Ja. I feel like you can't put Ja as like I mean, yeah, he's injured now, but Anthony Edwards has just been balling. Like and he's only 22, which is crazy.
He had like 30 something against the Clippers last night.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like super competitive, you can tell. He locks up on D and he makes big shots. Like #3, I'll probably go Halliburton. I think he's kind of underrated. Like like you said, like his assist numbers are crazy, and he's also putting up like 22 a game, something like
Hmm.
that. So,
Yeah,
and their offense is electric. It's led by him. So Halliburton 3. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Maxi at 4, Tyrese Maxi.
Mm,
Um, I just think he's just like a bucket. He gives the Celtics so many problems. Um, and with him and Embiid on the floor, like I think Harden leaving opened up the door for him, like to be their franchise guy. So Maxi at 4, and at 5, I'll go with. Did I say Ja? I'll probably Ja. Ja at 5. just
Okay.
because Jaw is Jaw. I mean, he's just nasty
Yeah.
when he's healthy and staying on the court. So, yeah, I feel like we had similarities between us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Josh decided to put LaMelo in there, which LaMelo's
Bro,
a good
you have
player.
look. Granted, he's been injured by that. That's he's honestly like he's box office. Also,
Oh,
shot sounds good,
absolutely.
but he's just
I just think that he's in
you
a
know.
tough situation with winning. Like his team hasn't really won, and I'm not saying that's entirely on him because it's basketball's never like when people say like winning's on one player in basketball, like yeah they contribute to it, but it's a team game. I mean, like I think it's more than that. When it's interesting though, because when people like look at like I like the fact that you guys added like Paolo Banchero's having a great year. For you, Josh, what do you like about Paolo compared to a guy like Zion? Is it the fact that is his playmaking? Is it the fact that he's kind of like been like the reason? Because with the Pelicans, right, you could look at a guy like Brandon Ingram or CJ McCollum for the success. Like, is it the reason like he's really the driving force of that? What for you kind of spoke about Paolo? Because I think that's actually a pretty good pick, and I'm just interested to kind of hear what your thought process is.
I mean, I don't know, just I guess the leap that he took from working, um, not working, from playing at Team USA, like you definitely see how that was like a super positive experience for him because he's just more confident. He's just taking to the rim. He's dunking on people. I was about to say whatever, but no, he's just like he's coming into his own. I know it's only year two for him, but like he's averaging like I don't know, like 20 and 8 and 4, 28 and like 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Like I see him next year, he'll probably make another leap. He'll average 24, 25. Like it's just, and he's more reliable than Zion, like just like availability wise
Mm-hmm.
at this point in both their careers. Because like Zion is just, I don't know if it's genetics or just him just not being staying true to the diet or not being able to like properly, um, stay in shape because of all the like leg injuries and stuff like that. But like I'd much rather, even though Zion is an electric player, I'd much rather follow right now. Just like more certainty there.
And Sellew, kind of talking about just what, from the standpoint of just guarding Maxey from the Celtics, like what makes that so tough? Because people look at that matchup and say, well, you got Drew Holiday, you got Derek White, you got two of the better perimeter guards in the league. I would just say the fact that like Maxey's just so quick and he has, that really quick gear that he can be able to take off that. Like even though Harden has played great with the Clippers, Harden just I think didn't quite have that, and that you kind of need that when you play against those two guards from the Celtics. Maybe I'm misspeaking, but like what from a Celtics standpoint, because I know you're a huge Celtics fan, like what makes a Maxey so difficult to guard? Because you guys do a good job on Embiid, but Maxey seems to be the tough one for you guys.
Yeah. No, I think you said it. I mean, he's just crazy quick, and especially off the pick and roll, it just feels like he'll either come off it and just pull up, and it's just cash every time.
He's super decisive with his moves too.
Yeah,
So
or he'll just like turn the corner so fast and like get an easy layup. Um, he's just a really hard guard all around. Um, but like I don't know. I still think the Sixers. I still think we're Embiid's father.
yo, someone was making this argument with me. If you put and like I don't know any like tough lead guard like a Jalen Brunson or even like a Manuel quickly in Tyrese Maxey's position, they're averaging the same amount of points as Tyrese Maxey. Someone was arguing with me about that, and like
I mean, Brunson is averaging more right now. And
no, but I guess like it's quickly or like a I don't know like a Halliburton or I don't know like those type of like any type of guard, any type of like starting guard would have like the same sort of numbers playing next to Embiid and getting all those. Yo, if you watch the games, Tyrese is open, like really open whenever he's playing with Embiid.
right, but he was giving you like 18 a game
Yeah,
with James Harden there and not getting the ball much. I don't think that's a bad argument. I just think that Maxey, I do think has proven to be a really
no,
like,
he's
and that was one thing I told people when I was arguing with some of my. It was funny. I was arguing with a kid that's a big Celtics fan, and we were talking about the Sixers, like what's next, and he was saying that a lot of it comes down to like Embiid's got to be just better and the coaching's got to be better and all that stuff, which is true. But I said like they really just got to like unleash Maxey, and it's kind of I'm glad that they kind of did that because it's turned out better for Harden and better for them. So it's been interesting. Um, I talked with my one buddy about this, but I it's amazing to watch guys that like a guy like Luca or a guy like Kawhi who are just like have such strength and being able to not use just I know Kawhi is also a very good athlete compared to Luca is much more athletic, but they both don't really rely on their athleticism to get buckets. And I was kind of thinking about that, like when you watch him play, it's like Paul George is like this a little bit too. Like they don't really use their athleticism at all.
That boy smooth. That boy real smooth.
Yeah, but like they don't use
He's a
their
pleasure to
athleticism.
watch.
Like it's just getting to spots. From a standpoint of guarding perimeter defenders, like what makes that so hard to like? Because you watch it on television, you're sitting there, you're saying, how is this guy like Luca or Kawhi? Like, how are they? I guess Kawhi's really strong, but like, how's a guy like Luca scoring 45 points, or how's a guy like Paul George who just like shoots a lot of mid range and threes? Like, how is he scoring 35? And my answer is, if you guys because you guys spent more time guarding perimeter defenders than I did in my timeline, but playing basketball. But like, is that like accurate when you go against those guys who are like, you guys played against a few of those guys in college. Guys who were like maybe like more methodical from the perimeter, but able to kind of get their shot off. Is it the fact that they have just like a really good IQ and like a cerebral ability to just be able to get to their spots? Like, what's so hard about that?
Like one main thing is like playing at your pace, not getting sped up. Like that's like you see that especially with Luka. Like you can't speed him up at all. Like he's going like same thing with Kyrie too. Like they're going at the pace that they want to go to. They're gonna get their spots. They all pretty much have like impeccable footwork, very fundamentally sound. And they just like oh they you can tell they work on their craft. Like they know like okay, like I know Paul George, he likes to like drive baseline, step back, and like he'll splash it. Like when we shoot that shot, I'm like, I don't know, like 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, that's going in. And then Kawhi has his turnaround. Luka has his step back as well. His step back off his right foot, right leg. It's just yeah, they know if they get to a certain area on the court or a certain spot, they know like they're just comfortable. It's more so making them feel uncomfortable because they're gonna hit tough shots. It's inevitable, but you just like can't be discouraged if you're a defender. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Luca for sure, like his pace. I just feel like people still haven't figured out like the European style, the way he moves and the way he like finishes layups and
He doesn't shy
gets
away from
gets
contact
shots
either.
off. Yeah, it's like,
great.
and now he's like stronger. He's got like a pretty quick first step. So like Luca's hard to guard, hard to figure out. And then like with PG and Kawhi, I feel like just like what Josh said, they just like know how to get to their spots. Like Kawhi, I feel like when he gets into that like 18-foot, 20-foot zone, like
There's nothing you can do.
it's just like auto. Yeah. It's like same with PG, like coming off ball screens and like operating in that like 16, 18-foot range. I feel like he's just automatic. I honestly you gotta give credit to Ty Lue for like drawing up these sets, getting them in their spots because that's obviously
He's a great
a huge
coach.
component
He's a
of it.
great
Yeah.
coach. But yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting because like I always like when people come up to me, they're like how does this like guy be able to figure out like these guys are not as quick figure it out, and it's all about like you guys said like pace, getting to the spots, understanding kind of like the flow of the game, understanding how the defense is playing, all that stuff.
And also another thing is like understanding your angles when you're attacking the defender.
Right.
Like Luka, he'll drive at your hip. Like he's gonna drive straight ahead of your head. He's not like taking like it's not going in like a I don't know what's
he's going straight as opposed to like kind of circling his
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
He's going
But he'll
yeah.
also
So
do
it's
that
like
shot where like he'll like drive into you and then like hang in the air for like a little bit or hang on one foot for a little bit.
Oh,
wait for you to come down.
And then, like,
Then he'll shoot it.
the
yeah,
slow step. Yeah, the
Yeah.
slow step.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or like what's it called? Like the delayed step. Yeah, they have like a term for it now. But yeah, no, I
No,
think
but
that's interesting.
it's like even like I don't know, like even with like Kyrie and Trae Young. Like they know their angles. Like especially when finishing too. Like you gotta, I don't know, bump the shot blocker and then bring the ball out. You know, it's just little subtle things that like the average like spectator is not like necessarily seeing, or like I don't know if the game angles are like enable you to see it like properly, but like it's very subtle. It's when you see it, it's beautiful.
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 Yeah,
Yo, I know I'm getting old because like side note, I know I'm getting old, bro, because like yo, I see like someone who navigates a screen really well. Like they open up the hips, they get that fires me up. It gets me like yo, that's a great defense. The way to navigate that screen, like Drew Holiday, oh, bro, he fights over the screens, stays attached to the hip. Oh my god, great.
I mean,
That's
have you
great.
seen the Celt? Like we sometimes will mix in a zone offense, and they'll put Drew Holiday
Yeah, in the
like
back, yeah,
at
yeah.
the
Playing center
center of
field,
the
yeah,
zone, like the back center,
nasty,
like where the center
nasty,
usually plays. And it's like,
nasty,
what? Just causing havoc back there.
nasty.
they had Drew Holiday guarding Giannis, which I thought was a really interesting strategy because you know I think I'm talking about, right? Like when Giannis struggled against you guys the first game, that Drew Holiday was on because you know again Drew knows probably Giannis.
A lanky big or like a big.
That's actually a good point. In terms of being able to score from multiple spots, definitely a taller guy for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, if I have like you know, I kind of wrap things up. I appreciate you guys coming on. This was fun. Just kind of like just chat hoops. This was kind of fun. I like to sometimes keep it like more casual and just kind of talk hoops. So it was good talking to you guys both. But you know,
Good little Shrek Daddy as well.
yeah. So you know, best of luck with everything going forward, and hope to see you guys soon. And you know, thanks for joining Shred Sticks.
for sure.
Yeah. Also
Thank you,
proud of you,
Shrek.
bro. Love what you're doing, and I'm glad you. I know you're killing it at Columbia too, so keep doing your
All right, buddy. We
Honestly,
will.
that mic is a huge upgrade too. That shit's great.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, we're not recording it on the good old just like Zoom with no microphone. And you got to amplify the audio a little bit now, you know. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.